Hi everyone, welcome to the Mindkind Kitchen. We hope you're all doing well. We're living in a very unprecedented time, and we wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you about foods and brain health in such a dire situation, what to buy, what to stock, and how to live a stress-free life as far as food is concerned.
But before we get to that, I think it's important to talk about some of the things that you've heard, but we want to reiterate. The most important thing you can do at this point, which is the number one factor in public health, is social distancing. That's what cuts off the pattern of repeat infections and spread of infections. So social distancing is the most critical thing. If you don't have to go to work, stay home. If your kids can stay home, please do so. If you have to be in public, please maintain that distance, 2 meters or 6 feet or so. It's critical to maintain that separation in order to make sure that the virus doesn't spread exponentially. The second thing is to wash, clean as often as possible. Wash your hands in between touching of items, whenever you've touched things that you haven't seen before, or even in your home or outside of the home, right, or at work, or in places that there's a lot of public interaction. Please make sure that you have wipes and sanitizers that can clean the spaces. There's no way you can avoid all the circumstances. It's a game of probabilities and numbers. The more you clean, the more likely that you will avoid the virus. So those are two of the most important factors. In the meantime, we have to prepare.
Yes.
Meaning that we don't know how long this process, this journey would last. It could be a couple of months, it could be longer than that, it could be seasonal, or it actually could be year-round, or it could actually have, what we heard today, is several cycles, meaning that somebody could get infected and then reinfected again. We don't know. So we have to plan for the worst-case scenario. Given that, one of the most important things we can do to even achieve the social distancing is have a lot of food available at home, so you don't have to travel, so you can maintain cleanliness for the family. Yeah. You can maintain an environment where you can control all the factors, or as much of the factors as you can. So with that said, food, again, becomes one of the most important factors to manage and to keep the system clean.
We came up with a plan of identifying certain foods that are non-perishable, first of all, and then second, easily made at home, deliciously made at home.
And thirdly, healthy.
Absolutely.
This is the time.
The most important thing,
exactly,
actually.
to maintain your health. You know, there's a lot of talk about this food being healthy and you know, certain foods being anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. Well, it's not a particular thing. It's the foods that you have at home together affecting that immune response, that health status. So the foods that we're going to highlight are the ones that are non-perishable, yes, that can maintain for months at a time, that are easily assembled into tasty, wonderful foods, but at the same time, most importantly, maintain your health.
Absolutely.
This is not the time to lose that healthy health that you've achieved. The natural tendency, the natural habit of humanity is under stress to go to survival state. And survival state means any food that you can get your hand on, and foods that have been programmed to seem like they're tasty, the high sugar, high fat foods, because they're the survival foods.
Right.
But they're the unhealthiest. One of the things we noticed is that the first aisles that were gone or empty were the chips and fries and, you know, all these processed foods were gone. Cookies. We saw one lady that had a whole cart full of cookies and chips.
I know.
And that's the natural tendency that we have to go to the survival mode, which is fat and sugar.
Yes.
This is not the time for that. In fact, if anything, you should get healthier during this time to actually fight any infections that you might experience.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to start with certain categories that we put together. We're going to start with whole grains and pseudo grains. We have several examples of the things that are non-perishable, will stay on the shelf for a long time, and are absolutely delicious when you prepare them. And of course, they're very, very healthy. The first item is brown rice. Brown rice has a lot of fiber, a lot of protein, a lot of complex carbohydrates. The second thing that is incredibly healthy are oatmeals. especially extra thick rolled oats or steel cut oats. These can be used for breakfast. Again, very high in fiber, complex carbohydrates and proteins. Great for breakfast, great for making muffins, granola, adding it to soups, and really satiating. The third item is quinoa. Quinoa is a pseudo grain, but it comes under the umbrella of whole grains. It's amazing. It's a complete protein, and as you know, it stores very well on the shelf for months without going bad and rancid. You don't have to refrigerate it, as some people say, and it's absolutely delicious. Again, you can mix it with oatmeal and brown rice. You can have it with your oatmeal for breakfast and mix it in muffins and baked goods as well. Then we have several other miscellaneous grains like buckwheat. We have spelt flour, which is a whole grain and can be used in muffins. The next item is amaranth. Now, amaranth is incredibly healthy. 1/4 cup has 7 grams of protein and has 7 grams of fiber. And I will post some recipes of how to use amaranth in bowls mixed with quinoa, with brown rice, and it really, really bumps up the nutritional value of any meal. I also have farro. These are the 10-minute farros that I got from Trader Joe's. These are delicious. Oat groats. So oat groats are whole oats instead of it being steel cut or rolled. Oat groats are very delicious, and you basically soak them overnight and boil them, and you can actually have it as a breakfast. You can have it in soups and salads.
Now, these fibers are important because they're foundational. You can build everything around these.
Sure.
And they have the fiber, the protein, and the bulk.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them so valuable. So it's critical to build around those fibers because you can get a lot of it. And the ones that Ayesha was pointing to, you can find them even now in a lot of supermarkets because they're not sought after.
Yeah, I did get whole wheat flour just in case we want to make waffles, pancakes, or potentially some flatbreads in the oven as well. The other thing that keeps really well are these crisp breads, whole grain crisp breads, or crackers. See if you can actually get these whole
Kids
grain.
love these.
Yeah, they're wonderful. They go so well with guacamole, with hummus, with nut cheeses.
Exactly.
So there's another example. Now let's focus on legumes or beans. I have different examples. We have kidney beans, we have Great Northern beans, chickpeas, black beans, and I went to some Middle Eastern stores and some international markets and found amazing green lentils and yellow split peas. Obviously, these store really well. Incredible source of plant proteins, clean proteins, fiber, complex carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals. It's absolutely delicious.
It's critical to read labels to make sure that they're low in sodium because a lot of times when they're canned, they have high levels of sodium.
Very
so
true.
It's critical to be aware of that.
The ones that I got had no salt added in them. And even if you get the regular ones that have salt in them, get rid of the fluid inside the can and rinse the beans. The next category that we want to talk to you about are nuts and seeds. Talk about a great source of healthy fats.
Exactly.
Packed with polyunsaturated fats and monounsaturated fats. Choices are walnuts, cashews, hazelnuts, almonds, basically anything. If you can't find peanut butter or nut butters, it's very easy to actually make your own nut butters at home. All you need is a blender and an oven. When you warm up nuts in an oven, it actually makes it softer, and you put it in your blender and you make amazing nut butters.
Exactly.
And you can add a little bit of maple syrup or any added spice like cinnamon, and you have yourself an amazing spread.
Perfect.
Seeds are great sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Don't forget to stock up with some seeds. Hemp seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds. The next category is fruits and vegetables. Now, we don't have enough evidence that the coronavirus spreads through foods and food packages. The latest data and the latest guidelines from the CDC does not give us details on how to process and clean vegetables and fruits.
But the important thing being that it's important to have fruits and vegetables. That's a major source of vitamins and nutrients, and it's critical to have them. And if you get them fresh, make sure that you get ones that are peelable. and wash them as often as possible. And that's the best we can do. The data so far, coming from other countries and from CDC, is that there doesn't seem to be any cases of transmission through these sources or these vectors.
And try to lean towards buying produce that you have to cook them. So things like cauliflower, cooking them and steaming them, or sweet potatoes where you peel them and cut them and bake them or boil them. Other ideas of including produce in your food are buying frozen vegetables and fruits, such as these. A berry blend is an amazing source of berries that you can add in your oatmeal, in your smoothies. We also bought some stir-fry vegetables, frozen ones from Trader Joe's, and these amazing slabs of chopped spinach. I could probably do some exercise with this. They're pretty wonderful, and you know, you can add this to your pastas, to curries, and make amazing stir-fries with them as well.
Absolutely. So the key is to clean and wash and peel and boil and bake where it can be done.
Yeah, and buy fruits that are peelable, like Dean said: oranges, apples, mangoes, bananas, and dates. Dates can actually be soaked in hot water to be cleaned, so you can actually have it after they're thoroughly cleaned in hot water. When you soak it in hot water and blend it, you can actually make date syrup, which goes on top of waffles and pancakes, and it stores really well. So you can store it for a long time outside of the refrigerator. And of course, having some root vegetables is important. Potatoes, especially sweet potatoes, very healthy, keeps in your pantry for, you know, a couple of weeks. Onions and garlic are also very healthy, and they keep in your pantry for a long time. So make sure you get these. The next category is herbs and spices. Now, I love having herbs and spices around the house, especially dried herbs, and it makes up for the lack of fresh produce. Pound for pound, herbs and spices have more anti-inflammatory compounds compared to the ones that you find in fresh ones. So stocking up on spices like turmeric, cayenne pepper, oregano, dill, basil, cilantro, or coriander, so many different things is important. Now the last category are miscellaneous stuff, and I wanted to focus on plant milks. Getting organic, unsweetened plant milk like this one. This is West Soy plain soy milk. It's my favorite one. These are, you don't have to put them in the refrigerator. You can store them in shelf, and once you open them, then you can put them in the refrigerator. Getting, you know, several of these, storing them in a dark, cool place, and refrigerating them after they open is a great idea.
The kids love these.
The kids love these, and I make soy yogurt from this as well, which is delicious. Stocking up on vegetable broth cubes is a good way of saving space and storing it for a long time. Each cube, there's 6 of them here, each cube actually makes 2 cups of vegetable broth. So this was a good idea. Textured vegetable protein, or TVP, is a wonderful thing to have in your shelf. Now, TVP is made out of defatted soy flour and is a very, very high source of protein. 1/4 cup of TVP has 13 grams of protein. What you can do is you basically hydrate it in water or in broth, and it expands and it becomes like a veggie crumble that you can make a bolognese sauce on top of pasta or with brown rice and vegetables. Very good thing to have. Having cocoa powder to add in your cereal and your milk. A sweetener, our sweetener of choice is monk fruit because it has 0 calories and it doesn't increase your blood sugar levels. It's processed, but it's a great replacement for sugar, for coffee and tea. So that's an example of the foods that you can get and store during these times. And as we move on, we will show you more recipes of how to create amazing, delicious food from these pantry items.
So the point of this video was to create a foundation of healthy eating under difficult circumstances. We might have this situation last for weeks, months, or longer. But this is also a time for us to learn the habit of maintaining healthy eating habits and tasty and easy patterns that you can create around fundamental foods that will build your immunity, will build your resilience. We know that certain populations are at greater risk. Age is a risk factor, chronic diseases are risk factors, and smoking is a risk factor. But we think that even those who don't eat healthy put themselves at a higher risk. So by eating healthy, you boost your immune system and make yourself resistant, or actually resist the onslaught of bacteria, this viral infection or other viral infections. So this is a great time to build two habits: habit of eating healthy under difficult situations, and also to build a stockpile for other circumstances like this. You learn that you don't have to run around during emergencies, going for from paper towels to toilet papers, but going to the fundamental things that will build your health. This is why we made this video.
Thank you for joining us today. We will put in a link at the bottom of this video directing you to a website where you can download a list of all of these things that we just talked about and a list of things to buy, essentially a shopping list. And over the next few weeks, we will come up with very easy, tasty, and healthy recipes using these items. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up if you like it, and share it with everyone. We all have to go through this time together, and we all have to be available to support each other. And thank goodness for social media and video conferencing, and this specifically, so that we can be in touch. We really appreciate your messages. I can't tell you how happy we feel when we hear back from you, when we read your comments. Know that we do. And thank you so much again for joining us. We are Team Sherzai on social media. Follow us for more information and give us feedback of what we should talk about next time we see you on this channel. Until then, have a great day.